Welcome back everybody. Today we start gravel. So we're going to build a road down at Hattons. I've got to head there today anyway, so I'll show you where we're going. So Ben's just greasing up his truck and his trailers, just getting that all ready. As you guys already know, that thing's all ready to roll. And yeah, we'll start some gravel carting. Now, we've still got the rocks in here, unfortunately. They're never disappearing. All these rocks. But yeah, we'll see how we go with building a road. Like I might wait for Ben to do quite a bit before we start to use the grader. I'm going to get the grader down there today anyway, but yeah. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I'd love for Henry to have finished gypsum before we start the road, because then we can use Manny with its rock bucket to go along and just pick all these rocks out as we're going. And it'll just make everyone's life a whole lot easier. But we'll just see what happens. So yeah. We'll grab Bill and head back to the shed. Alright, so I got Bill hooked onto my ute ready to roll to go down so I can get the grader down to Hattons. But there is one thing that I need to chuck on the back. Actually, I'm going to have a bit of fun because that's dead flat. I'm going to need to jump start that as well. Let's hope that's not flat. Anyway, I've come here to grab a snatch strap and take that down. The reason, it's not wet. He's not going to get bogged by wetness, but he's going to get bogged by sand. The way that he has to tip the gravel, he'll be turning around in the paddock, obviously. He will be turning empty, so there's that for, that going for him. So hopefully that should be all right. But there is a couple sections in the paddock which are going to be fairly dodgy for him trying to turn and even driving over the top. Yeah, I'm a bit concerned how many times he's going to get bogged, but yeah, we shall find out, shan't we? So just going to grab this, chuck it on the back of Bill, and then I can drop it down on a fence line down there, and I'll show you guys where I mean when we get down there. Rightio, so where we're going to start doing this road, we've got a road that goes all the way out to the back piece of the paddock, but it doesn't go the whole way length of the paddock. And then what we end up with is chaser bins and boom sprays and spreaders transporting all down the one line, which, we're sticking to our tram, but that tram gets absolutely destroyed, especially over the sand. And if we do have a wet year, it looks like this. So I want to put a decent road the whole way out the back, and then that way everyone can just get onto something, transport down on the road, and then we'll all be sweet. Now for Ben, it's going to be interesting because he'll be along here is where it's fairly solid, but then it does turn to sand up on top of this hill here. So yeah, we'll see how he goes. I'm not too sure. He might be okay, he might not be. Let's do this. He might get bogged, he might not, but put a comment, see, put a number of how many times you reckon he's going to get bogged, and the winner is will get a hat. I'll send him a hat. So I'll give you a lay of the land. So it's sandy along here, so I don't think he'll have any problem driving along there, but it's when he comes to turn that he might have the issue. Hell, he might not even get bogged at all, and then there'll be no hat. But we'll see how he goes. Coming out here now, it's not too bad, but that truck turning multiple times, who knows? So anyway, I've got that snatch strap. I'm going to chuck it on the fence here, just so it's sort of close-ish by. And then I believe he's down at the gravel pit now. I did want to get down here with the grader before he got here, but I don't think that's going to happen now. But anyway, we can only do what we can do. Once we finish that length of the new track that I want to put in, we're then going to need to resheet parts of this current track, and the reason is it's pretty bad. So we've got the sheetrock that's coming through there, and as you can imagine, track machines or even just the truck driving over that, it's a nightmare. So yeah, we just gotta yeah, a bit of resheeting to do, and I'll measure up how long that that new track will be. I think it'll be, at a guess, like 1.8 k's or something like that. And I should mention on the boggings, it'll be over numerous videos, because he's going to be cutting there for quite a few, well, I'd say quite a few weeks. So we'll tally it up as he goes, and it's yeah, whoever gets it right, and it's the first person. So yeah, I'll update you as we go along if there's boggings here and there, but yeah, we'll let's hope it's 0 or at the most 1. I don't want him getting bogged like 16 times, but anyway. Now the joys of jump starting this thing. The box is all banged up. We had a guy working for us, and on his first day of work, well, second day maybe, I got him to go do some slashing. Anyway, I came back and this box was all up here, and it all snapped in there. And I said, "Oh, what's going on here?" "Oh, I didn't notice that. That wasn't me." "Pretty sure it was, buddy." Well, anyway, went out to where he was slashing, and he drove over a rock about this size with the front of the tractor, which then broke that, then drove over with that, and then went over with the slasher. And it's like, how does that happen? First of all, how do you not notice? And then why not admit what you've done? But you know, I'm a pretty reasonable bloke. Anyway, that says 12.1 volts. It wouldn't start. Oh, we're here now. Let's jump start it. Well, definitely needed the jump start. Alright, that's going to need about 5 minutes of charging, so we'll check old Grover over. Everything should be good. I'll definitely need to fill up with fuel. Hydraulic oil and everything should be alright. Yeah, we're up here on a hydraulic level, so we're half. It's always a good sign. The isolator was off. Check our oil and should be right to roll. That's interesting. Wouldn't start. I reckon we're we're in neutral. The joys of trying to get everything working. Alright. Grover won't start either. It's definitely not battery. I've just gone, maybe I got the starter. The starter one might be off as well. We'll check that one. Don't know why it would be off, but... Oh man, this thing hurts your hands. No, our starter one is on. I'm just gonna flick it off, flick it back on. Park brake was off, so maybe that's what it was. Yep. The park brake, which is this one just here, that was off, so that was why it wasn't working, and now it's telling me that my steering lever needs alignment, so just got to get these wheels so they're, there we go. Got to get the wheels so they're back in line. We're actually full of fuel fluids are all good, so just need to get that out of the way and we'll be good to roll down. So like I was saying, fuel's good and my oils are good. I'll check the transmission once we get down there. You need to get it up to operating temperature before you can check the fluid. Also needs to be started by running, just like Louis. And I don't need to grease this. It's got an auto greaser, which is that thing just there. It is getting low. It's about half, so I do need to probably look at buying some more and topping that up. But yeah, it was full when it got to us, and we've done a year of work, and yeah, we haven't run out, so I think we should be good for a while. I've somehow beaten Ben back down here, which is good. Means what I wanted to be able to do is just knock down the high edges on those two wheel tracks that I showed you before. So I'll knock them down. He's still 15-20 minutes away, and then I'll show him where he's going, and hopefully he doesn't get bogged, but I guess we'll find that one out, won't we? And yeah, I'll see how he goes. If he starts to get a little bit bogged as he goes over the top of this hill just there where I put the snatch strap, what I'll do, I was going to leave the gravel for a while so I had a nice length of gravel to go on, but yeah, if he's starting to blow through and stuff like that, then I'll start to grade the road out so that there is something for him to drive on, and yeah, it avoids him getting bogged. So I wasn't doing anything fancy, just quite literally just pushing it all back into its wheel track, and then that will fill with gravel and then compact. But I didn't want to have the high spot, because obviously with the high spot you'd have issues with it showing up to the gravel as you're trying to pull it through. So just simply knocked it down, and that way it's it's got no high spots anymore. So yeah, Ben will start from here and that way, and yeah, it's going to be fantastic having this track here. It's going to be a game changer for the paddock, let me tell you. Right, Ben's just been showing where he's going. So we had a bit of a chuckle about getting bogged, because he apparently got bogged 3 times out at the gypsum pit. So I didn't know about that one, but yeah, the problem is, sand and trucks just doesn't mix, especially with turning. Just becomes a whole issue. So hopefully he'll be all right, but yeah, we'll see how he goes. The main objective is just to get that sandy ridge done first, and then as soon as he's done that, I'll come and grade it, and that way it's all done. But trying to grade per load just doesn't work. It's much easier for the grader driver to grade a whole length than to try and grade it when it's drop one load grade, drop one load grade. It's too hard to spread the gravel out. It just doesn't do it consistently. So yeah, that's why we need to get at least it'd be nice to get that length done, a few hundred meters, and then you can grade it. It just makes life so much easier. So we'll come down later on today and see how it's going, but it's not going to be quick. It's only going to be probably 4 to 5 loads a day max, I think, because he'd be carting nearly 20 k's and then loading that with our loader takes a while. So yeah, it's not going to be as quick as the gravel from last year, but at least we're onto the job and we're getting it done. All right, back at the grader. Didn't get far. Ben dumped the 2, and then yeah, this sandy hill is going to be his nemesis, I reckon. So he's bogged. I don't know what we're going to be doing. We might need to be pulling him out every load, but we'll see how we go. So there goes Ben. The issue is just that sand hill that, you know, I was talking about. Now he's going to change up how he's going to be doing his next load. So what he'll do is he'll drop the dog, which is the back trailer, back up at those other piles. He'll then stay loaded and drive over the hill because that gives him weight on the drives, which is part of the issue here. He's then going to go all the way to the end and then drop up there, and then he'll turn around and then come back on this tram line that I'm currently on now, and we'll see how he goes there. So that should mean that he's going to be able to go all right with having the weight on. The only issue that there might be is now that we've driven over that sand, yeah, it'll be a lot softer for him. So we'll just see how it goes. It's going to take a lot longer for him now to build up enough there. I need about 300 meters and then I can build the road and then he can drive on that. It's obviously going to take longer because we're doing it with just one trailer now, essentially. But once we've got that done, we can then go back to dropping 2 loads here and then work our way up, and then he can turn around up at wherever, you know, where we are here is solid ground. So where we first stopped, after we first pulled him out, he was driving underneath his own steam, but when he stopped and then went to take off after I'd unhooked, couldn't move. So that's why we had to hook on again and then pull again. And we're going to go until we got to this hill that's like just there, but he was chasing me along here. This is like hard clay where we are, so he had no issue. So right now I'm just going to wait until he's on this tram and on his way back, and then I'll go have lunch actually, but then we'll see how he goes for his next load. I'll try to be out here for his next load just to make sure that it's all going to work well for him, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to tell you what attempt that was of what number of bogging that is, but we had so his front trailer's loaded, as you can see, and what happened is because we pulled him out once and then he got bogged again, and then I just couldn't pull him out with Grover. It just wouldn't work. It was just sunk straight to the ground. Tried a few times, and yeah, we just weren't going to work. So we've gone and borrowed Will's tractor. So it's a 500 horsepower New Holland, and part of the condition of borrowing the tractor was to show that the tractor was over here pulling something out. So they're kindly enough to leave that here for us, and we're going to use that from now on when we pull him out. So there's been a few pulling outs, so get your guesses in. We obviously use Will's tractor because our big tractor is in town, and Henry's out spreading, and that he had a full load on, so it was over an hour for him to get that empty and then get that unhooked and bring that up here, well, down there I should say, to get the truck pulled out. So yeah, that's why I asked Will, and very kindly let me borrow his tractor. So yeah, no, that's the reason. Now an update on the tractor. Just spoke with Ash, my salesman, and about the 3rd week of February is when we should see the Big Red get out here. So we'll all be fingers crossed and waiting for that one to get out, but we won't have that in time for needing to pull out the truck. That's all right. So now I'm just having a look at the engine here and the stalker. I'm actually wanting to just take the stalker off and get it over in the shed there and get that all ready for when the new truck arrives. And yeah, this. So I think yesterday's video, or the last video, I was talking about how I had a motor lined up, and I was just waiting for the truck to arrive. I wanted to measure it up, and I've been talking with Tom, my cousin, about motors and pumps and the things that we want to do with everything. And he was looking at the thing, and actually he was talking with his mate about it, and his mate picked up that it only revved to 1500 revs. I completely missed that. So yeah, it's a generator engine, obviously. So yeah, it's not going to do what I want. We're going to need more than 1500 to run this pump, and run this pump efficiently and properly. So that engine's now out. So we're still up in arms about what we're doing there. Still putting some feelers out, trying to find out about pumps. So yeah, I was just thinking I'll take this off, and then I can just make sure that this is actually all good and in working condition, because it has been sitting here for 2 years, I think. Hasn't had any water go through it. So yeah, just want to check it over, make sure it's all right. And then that way, when the truck arrives, I'm hoping it could be tomorrow night or the next day, I can then put that where I want to put it on the thing, on the truck, hold it up, and then measure up where this motor could go that I haven't even got lined up. But that way I know how big a motor I'm going to need to get, and not to go over a certain length or height or whatever. So I just want to get it all ready to roll. Alright, so I've undone this, and now we can completely see in there. So this is obviously how it's joined. There's 2 splines, and they we just joined them with the silent rubber coupling or tire or whatever you call this sort of join just here, which is what I'll do on the new pump if we go with something like this. So yeah, the reason I want to get away from this motor is it is quite unreliable. You can probably see it's covered in oil and fuel. It does run, but yeah, fuel lines, the fuel can tend to run out on it. It's quite a tall motor. When I say fuel run out of it, I mean if you leave it sitting for a while, it's quite hard to start it. If you look in here, we've got the oil pressure line is crimped. There's meant to be that one there, oil PSI. So yeah, I mean it is nice. It's got that engine, control panel there, but it's not very it's just an old crappy motor, and I just want to get to a not necessarily a new one, but I want to get something that's going to be better and more reliable than that, and just something that's going to work every time we got to use it. So anyway, back to this. What I'll end up, well, I'm going to guarantee I can't get any of these hoses off, so I'll probably just chop these off, and then yeah, just unbolt it at the bottom there, and undo the coupling, and we should be sweet. I've got the bolts off for down here. The next thing to do is and I googled it. It's a flexible tire coupling. So there you go. That's the name of it, with a flange with the locking collar in there. Now the next thing to do is to just undo my two Allen keys there, and then I need to put it in the spare hole that's there, and that will help slide it off the shaft. I'll slide it off the coupling or the taper lock, whatever you want to call it. I do remember that Tom and I, when we built this and put this together, had a huge amount of difficulty trying to get this thing on. I reckon I'm going to have a huge amount of difficulty getting it off. I have to get this off regardless. If I'm going to use this whole assembly or just this and another motor, I have to get it off regardless, because yeah, it's welded on there. So this is welded. This whole frame we welded on. So even if I'm taking that motor, I need to take this off. So this is now tomorrow's job, or the day after, or whenever I get to it. I'm just going to head down. Ben should nearly be back down to tipping off his last load for the day, so I just want to go down there and make sure that that goes off without a hitch. We have got a different plan now for how we're attacking that, so hopefully he shouldn't actually get bogged this time, but we shall see on that one. And yeah, I reckon I'll leave the video there. Oh, that's the other thing, I can't do it with these because I have to cut them. These are, I need to use that one right there, it's too long, so I need to get a custom one from in the shed, which we've got plenty of spare ones that I can grab and cut. We probably actually have one that's cut for the job anyway. So I need to get that in order to do that coupling. So like I was saying, I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.